Hi, it's Pastor Andy again, and this week we continue our journey. In fact, we make a major transition. It would be like coming to a major interchange where we have to maybe change direction, or if it was a train station that we might be getting off of one and boarding another. This week, as we get to the conclusion of the Old Testament, we're in the book of Malachi, and sometimes when you are in a book and you've had a long series of things, the last chapter is kind of a concluding chapter. And well, Malachi isn't that way in many ways, and yet in some respects it is. The book of Malachi was written somewhere around 400 BC, and yet it talks to the people of the day specifically, and yet it gives a hope for tomorrow. The people of the day needed an attitude adjustment. They were going through the duties of a religious people. And yet we get towards the end of Malachi 3, and well, they didn't want to do duties. They thought serving God was worthless. They asked that question, and so maybe they are on the spiritual realm. Well, both of those have challenges for people, whether it's being overly religious, whether it's being overly spiritual. There's a balance that God has, and that balance is, well, it's found in the person of Jesus. And in Malachi 3, verse 1, we get a statement about a messenger who is to come to prepare the way for the true messenger, the Messiah. Well, that was the part of the promise of tomorrow. And so Malachi, in many ways, is a message that stands alone to the people of that day, and yet many of the issues that they were dealing with were reminiscent of issues that we found throughout the prophets. So in some ways, a concluding mark on the Old Testament. Regardless, it's a good book. It's a good study that I look forward to expounding on tomorrow, and we'll hope to see you then as we conclude the Old Testament and then begin our look next week with the book of Matthew. We'll see you then.